everyone. I'm going to talk about the bacteria Escherichia coli. First, we will see the introduction. E. coli is a bacteria normally living in the intestine of human beings. It is called as coliforms. It is also found in the gut of animals and it belongs to the Enterobacteriaceae family. Some strains are harmless. Some strains cause diarrhea through contaminated food and drink. Some strains are associated with food poisoning. Nearly 75 to 95% of UTI, that is urinary tract infection, is caused by E. coli. It also causes pneumonia. And now we'll see the morphology of this particular bacteria. It is a gram-negative rod and it is usually arranged either singly or in pairs. And it is motile with peritrichous flagella. It is a non-spore forming bacteria and some strains are capsulated. And next we'll see the cultural characteristics. E. coli is a facultative anaerobe. The optimum temperature needed for its growth is 37 degrees centigrade. It can grow well in nutrient agar and the colonies are large, thick, grayish white, moist, smooth, opaque or translucent discs. And this organism grows in the differential media McConkey agar medium. In McConkey agar, the lactose fermentase forms bright pink color colonies. This E. coli also produce the bright pink color colony due to lactose fermentation. Then the specific media for this organism is EMB, that is eosin methylene blue agar. In this agar, this organism can grow and form greenish metallic sheen colonies. And next we will see the biochemical characterization. This organism shows the positive result for indole and methyl red and it is VP negative, citrate negative, H2S negative and urea is not hydrolyzed. Glucose, lactose, mannitol, maltose they are fermented with the production of acid as well as gas. In triple sugar ion agar, it produces acid but acid slant and gas will be produced. And regarding the antigenic structure, it possesses the following antigens. First one O somatic antigen, H flagellar antigen, then K antigen. It is also called envelope antigen which encloses the O antigen which renders the strain inagglutinable by the O antiserum and it contributes virulence by inhibiting the process phagocytosis. And fimbrial antigen. And next we will see the virulence factors present in this bacteria. It possesses endotoxin associated with O antigen. Some strains produce two types of exotoxins, enterotoxin and hemolysin. Fimbrial antigen mediates adhesion of bacterium to human and animal cells. Such adhesion enhances urinary tract infection. Enterotoxins responsible for diarrhea are of two types, heat labile and heat stable. It also produces hemolysin. And next we will see the pathogenesis. The first one is the diarrhea. Enterotoxins responsible for diarrhea are of two types, heat labile and heat stable. Heat labile enterotoxin is similar to cholera enterotoxin antigenically and the mode of action is by stimulating the adenyl cyclase, that is cyclic adenosine monophosphate system, to produce fluid accumulation in the lumen of the intestine. Heat stable toxin stimulates fluid secretion into the gut through the mediation of cyclic guanosine monophosphate resulting into dehydration. And next we'll see the infections caused by E. coli. Urinary tract infection, septic infections of wound, diarrhea, septicemia, pneumonia, neonatal meningitis, abscess in various organs. Four groups of E. coli is responsible for diarrhea in infants, children and adults. Enteropathogenic E. coli, enterotoxigenic E. coli, enteroinvasive E. coli and enterohemorrhagic E. coli. First we will see the urinary tract infection. This is caused by this E. coli during catheterization. This occurs in hospitalized persons due to, and also the infection may occur due to pregnancy and also due to urinary obstruction by prostatitis, that is inflammation of prostate gland. Then pyelonephritis is produced due to hematogenous infection. Pyelonephritis is nothing but the inflammation of kidney. And next is the septicemia. Septicemia, it is actually the bloodstream infection or blood poisoning. It is characterized by fever, hypotension, endotoxic shock. And next we will see the lab diagnosis. First one for diarrhea, the detection of enteropathogenic E. coli. For this, fresh diarrheal stool is plated directly on blood agar and Mekong agar medium. After overnight incubation, the colonies are emulsified in saline on a slide and tested by agglutination with polyvalent and monovalent O antiserum against enteropathogenic serotypes. Further identification by biochemical test. We can also plate them in the specific media, that is EMB agar. Then we can carry out this ELISA test, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, to detect the presence of this organism. Next one, the urinary tract infection. Catheterization is not advisable for collection to diagnose the urinary tract infection. Usually the sample for identifying this infection will be the midstream urine sample. The urine has to be collected in the wide mouth container and it is immediately transported to the lab. Quantitative culture is done by pour plate technique by tenfold diluted urine sample in the active urinary tract infection. The urine will contain 1 lakh, that is 10 power 5 bacteria or more per ml, which is referred to as significant bacteriuria. Counts of 10,000 bacteria or less are indicative of contamination. Now we will see the test for diagnosis of significant bacteriuria. First one, grease nitrate test. This test is mainly meant for detection of nitrate reducing bacteria in urine. Second one, catalase test. The frothing on addition of hydrogen peroxide is the indication of bacteriuria. Third one, triphenyl tetrazolium chloride test. Production of pink-red precipitate with the reagent indicates the respiratory activity of the growing bacteria. Then microscopic examination. This will be by doing gram staining, and the gram stain film of urine will be used for identification. Next one, glucose test paper. This is used to detect the presence of glucose present in the normal urine by bacteria causing the infection. Next one, dip slide culture method. Agar coated slides are immersed in the urine or it is exposed to the stream of urine, are incubated, and the colonies are estimated by colony counter. And next we'll see the epidemiology. Shiga-like toxin producing E. coli outbreaks are due to raw or undercooked ground meat products, raw milk, and fecal contamination of vegetables. The illness is self-limiting but become life-threatening disease including hemolytic uremic syndrome in young children and the elderly. And STEC is heat sensitive. Proper cooking of foods can prevent this disease. And next we'll see the treatment. Infantile diarrhea can be treated by oral rehydration. And we can use the solution, the ORS, as per the World Health Organization recommendation. Then E. coli infections, usually bladder or other urinary tract infections, are treated with antibiotics like trimethoprim, sulfamethoxazole, nitrofurantoin, or efloroquinolone. Thank you.